Hello, thank you. My name is Jeannie Mai, and today I'm going to share with you how my company, HelpGrid, helps online sellers make hundreds of thousands of dollars every month by saving abandoned carts. Let's see. Jeannie the Magician. All right, so once upon a time, I had a dream of being on stage and performing magic tricks, hence the name Jeannie the Magician. I really got ahead of it, right? Let's see. Sorry about that. It's okay. So why did I want to become a magician? Well, I graduated from the University of California, Los Angeles. So for short, we'll call it UCLA, right? I graduated from UCLA with a degree in Asian American Studies. Who here has seen a millionaire or a billionaire be made with a degree in Asian American Studies? I don't think any of us have. So, so after I graduated, I saw that these were the career paths that were meant for me. If my clicker would work, you could see all of the career paths that are there. However, the career paths were not very lucrative. That's why they're not showing up on screen right now. And of the lucrative careers that I could have, it would require that I go back to school. And I didn't want to go back to school, right? So, because I lived in Los Angeles, very LA of me, I decided I was going to make a career in entertainment because everybody in LA thought they were going to be a famous actor or actress. Instead, I was going to be a magician. Thank you. And I had the audacity of this dream, even though I've never done any magic in my entire life. But I thought, well, if David Blaine can do it, David Copperfield, Penn and Teller, Shin Lim can do it, I can do it. Maybe one day I will be a really big magician and I'll have my own residency in Las Vegas. Meanwhile, well, I needed to make some money first because I needed to take magic classes because, like I told you guys, I have zero skills in magic at all. So I talked to a couple of my friends, and they told me about how they made money. And I discovered internet marketing. I'm sure many of you here can relate that when you discovered the world of internet marketing, you never looked back, right? It sucked you in like this black hole right here, and you just never got out of it. So I was introduced by one of my friends to an affiliate network. And this affiliate network, after they interviewed me, they called me and they said, Jeannie, you have zero experience. We have candidates way more qualified than you. Ouch, but you're really bubbly, and you graduated from UCLA. So we think you're probably smart enough, and we can teach you the technical stuff, but we really can't teach people to be bubbly. So I learned a couple of things that day. One, being bubbly can actually take you pretty far to an extent. Two, that degree actually worked out for me. And three, how you say things and how you make people feel are oftentimes more important than what you say or what you don't say. And so when they gave me that job offer, I took it. So very quickly, poof, the dreams of being a magician disappeared. And I did not need a mathematics degree at UCLA to tell me this, that a career in magic was probably going to yield negative results, whereas if I took the job and went through a career in internet marketing, I was probably going to yield something positive, right? And with this career shift, I thought maybe I should change my social media identity again. So how about Jeannie discovers internet marketing? No, it's really long, it's not catchy at all, and so I just stuck to Jeannie the Magician. And I'm sorry to disappoint you, I still have no magic tricks. I had a lot of time to plan, but I really didn't bother. So if you guys invite me next time, I hopefully will have a new trick for you. life works in very mysterious ways. So I actually did move to Las Vegas about 4 years ago, and I now perform on a much smaller stage for an even smaller audience. This is my audience. This is Kira, this is Ezra, this is my dog Ziggy, and the human attached to the dog is my life partner, my fiance Noel. And Kira and Ezra are actually not our kids. People are always saying, oh my God, she looks exactly like you. I'm like, no, this is not my kid. But through a series of tragic events, they ended up in our care, and we now have a very non-traditional nuclear family. This is a very cute, unsponsored picture by Target that we took for the holidays last year. But life gives you, thank you. Thank you. Life works in very weird ways, and this unplanned life event showed me the type of magic and motivation that I can harness into something very productive. And I realized magic isn't some otherworldly thing. It's not like magic at Hogwarts, right, or things like that. But it's what David Blaine says. Magic is making the impossible real, or simply doing things that people can't or won't do. And so I do what many online sellers won't do, which is the art of recovering lost sales. And my team of super agents at HelpGrid saves abandoned shopping carts every single day. So you're going to ask, what is an abandoned cart? All right, shopping cart abandonment is when a potential customer starts a checkout process and they drop out of that process before the purchase. Some of you might already know what it means, but I'm going to simplify it. I'm going to give you an abandoned shopping cart example through a recent shopping experience I went online because I was trying to buy a gift for my fiance. I was browsing online for men's card holders. So a card holder is a wallet for your credit card. And the reason I was looking for a card holder is I'm very judgmental. I looked at my fiance's card holder and it was torn and battered, and so I'm like, you need an upgrade. So what I settled on for him was this Gucci wallet. I'm like, it's black, it's sleek. Yes, it's overpriced, but it has a B on it, and I like Bs. So that justified this purchase, and he had no say in it whatsoever. Right? So I'm going to walk you through this experience of me buying this item. So I like this item. I put it in my cart. I look at the price. I tell myself that is a reasonable price for a card holder. I then go to checkout. And here I'm prompted on the page, and it looks like it wants me to create an account. I hate creating accounts when I'm checking out, and many shoppers hate creating accounts as well. However, if you look in the bottom, you'll see that there's an option for me to add in my email address. So I opt for that instead. Here, you're going to go through a regular funnel. I add my first name, my last name. I would add my phone number, but I don't want any, I'm sorry. I would add my address, but I don't want any of you guys to send things to my house. Sorry. And I go through that process, and then I look at this. I'm like, okay, now it's showing me the taxes. I hesitate a little bit because I wasn't ready for this fee. However, I saw the shipping option is free, so now I feel like I have a bargain, right? So we can go ahead and make this expensive purchase. But as I'm trying to check out, I get this red error, and I have to type in my phone number. It's a required field. I don't mind. I type in my phone number. We then go to payments. We have a bunch of payment options, right? I can use my credit card. I can use PayPal. And you can also use Affirm. So if you want to buy something from Gucci, you can actually pay in payments here, right? We could be hood rich. So I go through this, and I type in my credit card information, but it's coming up red. So what that means is it did not accept my payment. We'll pretend in this instance that this is the only credit card that I own. And so I type it in multiple times. I'm frustrated. I'm done with it. I'm just like, forget it. No Gucci today. So we didn't buy it. So using the same definition, I abandoned the cart. I'm sure many of you here have built a similar funnel because you need to collect customer information in order to process the payment and also to ship it to the customer, right? However, how you collect this information and when you collect this information could trigger an abandoned cart. So I categorize abandoned carts into two buckets, partials and declines. So let's get through with these slow-moving transitions. So a partial means that the checkout has started, there's incomplete information, and there has been no transaction attempts. A decline means that the checkout has started, and there's complete or maybe incomplete information, but the transaction attempt has failed. And it is very important to identify if you have a partial or a decline, because now you have to figure out how you will save the sale. The way you recover a partial and a decline are going to be very different. So I'm going to give you some examples, again, so you can identify what a partial and a decline is, right? So right here, if you see the item that I left in my cart, you know I want this card holder, I typed in my email, and then I only type in my name, my first name, and my last name. So if I left here, the only information Gucci has is my email address and my name, right? If I move further down the list and I give my email, my mailing, my home address, and my phone number, they can now contact me using my email, my mailing address, and my phone number in various forms, right? This is still a partial. A decline is when there's a payment transaction that failed, and here you see that the payment was declined, so this is a decline here. All right, so you saw all those examples, and in all those examples, none of the transactions were successfully completed, right? So at HelpGrid, we include partials and declines under the category of abandoned carts. And these are all opportunities for us to re-engage with the customer. Why should you care? This is a huge problem, not just for Gucci, but for any brand owners and any media buyers, because you spend so much money generating traffic to a product page, and you spend a lot of money optimizing your page to convert. However, people are such fickle beings, aren't they, right? And it is estimated that the average abandonment rate is just under 70% across all categories online. And what that means for e-commerce is we're losing 18 billion in sales revenue every year because of cart abandonment. And here are some of the reasons why people abandon their shopping cart. The number one reasons are the costs are too high. The second reason is an account is required. And the third reason is the checkout is too long. These are some of the reasons why people abandon their shopping cart. And the thing is, you're not going to know why unless you have a two-way conversation with them. And very often, that does not happen, right? I asked a lot of survey questions. So questions, is anybody here selling anything online? Okay, great. And show of hands, does anybody use a plugin or a platform that captures abandoned cart information? If you're on Shopify, if you're on ClickBank, Buy Goods, Digistore24, anybody using any of those platforms? Okay, awesome. And who here has successfully monetized that data? You've made your money back. Not very many people, oh no. All right, so I guess I won't be able to ask my last questions, but there is a few ways that you can recover those lost sales, and I will give you 4 of them. So, retargeting ads, cart abandonment emails, SMS or text marketing, and phone sales. So I want you guys to have lunch, so I'm going to go over the first 3 very quickly. And also the reason for that is I am not an expert in those first 3 categories, right? And there are people in this room and people who are exhibiting who can definitely help you automate using some of the tools and the platforms that they have. But I would recommend if you own any type of offer online that you should be utilizing either one or multiple combinations of these. Oh, By the way, I'm done with talking about Gucci unless they are going to sponsor me, so I'm done. I'm actually going to start talking about health supplements because that is HelpGrid's area of expertise, and I think there's a lot of health offer owners here. All right, so HelpGrid. Well, first of all, who is HelpGrid and what do we do? 20% of HelpGrid's business is on customer support, and the other 80% is on abandoned cart recovery. So that is where the bulk of our money is made. We have hundreds of agents dialing over 250 campaigns in the health and wellness vertical. So we know a little something about it. All right, another survey questions. All right, how many of you here own a health offer or run traffic to health offers? Okay, look around. You guys can be friends later. Right, so like I said, you're going to want to use any combinations of this. Utilize what you have, what you're good at, and what you have at your disposal, right? So retargeting ads is an option. So when a customer lands on your website, cookies are dropped. If they leave the website, utilize that cookie data and serve them ads so that you can remind them of what they wanted to buy. Here is an example of a retargeting ad on Facebook, right? I'm sure you've seen this many times. Using retargeted ads can send 26% of shoppers back to your site, and the best platforms for retargeting is going to be Facebook and Google Display. But you're going to have to consider a few things. Choosing the right platform, right? I don't know what each and every one of you sell, so you're going to figure out where your demographic is and where you're going to place those retargeting ads. But of course, you're also going to have a very specific call to action, and then you're going to plan the frequency. How often are you going to serve that ad? All right, cart abandonment emails. If you guys do nothing, cart abandonment emails are like the cheapest thing and the easiest thing to utilize. There's so many platforms out there and plugins that you can use. So what do you do with cart abandonment emails? Well, most of the time we are collecting email data and users' email information. If you have that, send them an abandoned cart email. Give them a direct link to the item that they left behind and give them an incentive to purchase the item right away. Oftentimes, people are the most successful when they they give a coupon code to the customer in that email. All right, here is an example of one of our clients. They use a drip campaign, and their first emails are usually not that aggressive. They want to gently remind the prospect that they left something behind in their cart. Here's a link, here's a testimonial. Hopefully they'll come back to the cart and pay full price. Oftentimes they don't. So later on in the drip campaign, he's a little bit more aggressive. So he adds in a coupon code, and also he uses a scarcity method and pushes the customer to buy by saying that the special offer is going to expire in 4 days. Almost 50% of all cart abandonment emails are open. I actually talked to one of the exhibitors here, and they told me that their open rate was much higher than this. And about 33% of cart abandonment emails result in a purchase. These are all the things you should consider in your emails, right? Captivating subject line, personalization. That means addressing the customer by their name in the email greeting. Promotions, like I said, you want to add a discounted bundle, a bonus product, or maybe an alternative product. Creating urgency, like that scarcity method I showed you earlier, and then frequency, creating a drip campaign and indicating which emails are going to be sent in a set time interval. All right, this wasn't part of my original 4, but if your business is very successful on Facebook and you actually have subscribers to your Facebook business page, you can actually remind them of the item they left in their cart using Facebook Messenger. All right, so we move on to SMS or text marketing. If you're collecting phone numbers, you can send a text message, but you're going to have to be very careful. Here is an example from SendLane, which is an app that you can use as well. It looks very nice, right? So in this text message, you see personalization. You see, hey, Kim, right, on the left. And then they send a picture of the item that Kim left behind, gives Kim a discount, and then a very short link that is related to the brand and the product. It looks very trustworthy, right? This is a text message sequence that I keep getting. I don't know if any of you guys are sending this to me, but stop it. This, unfortunately, is not a very good marketing campaign. One, it doesn't even show a picture of what the item is. Two, it doesn't even mention my name. And three, this link just looks very shady. I'm not going to click that because I'm afraid I'm going to get some type of virus on my phone, right? So don't do that. There's so many templates that you can use. Use any one of these templates, right? I'll let you guys take a quick picture. All right. SMS and MMS campaigns see a 98% open rate and about a 10% recovery rate. And our suggestion would be, and this is from Emotive, another plug-in, is to build a subscriber list, automate two-way experiences, get your timing right, use effective words, and I think the last two are very important, offer incentives, and showcase the abandoned item. Before I get to phone sales, I want to say that you should be very cautious when you're using SMS marketing. There's a lot of rules and compliance issues, and if you break any of them, you could deal with a very hefty fine. So that is usually not what I encourage. Now, phone sales. Well, this is where my bread and butter is at. What are phone sales? Well, phone sales refers to a person conducting an attempt to sell a particular product or a service to the prospect in the initial conversation via telephone. HelpGrid works with many brand owners, all in the health vertical, who collects phone numbers most of the time. They make it a required field. If it's on ClickBank and Digistore and Buy Goods, usually they collect the phone numbers. If you're collecting phone numbers, utilize that. Pick up the phone and call them and ask them, why did they leave the item behind in their cart? And you're probably wondering, well, people don't pick up the phone. That's not true at all. 69% of calls from a legitimate business were picked up by consumers. And you can increase or enhance this number if you register or brand your phone numbers through platforms such as Hiya or Numerical. All right. So, why does HelpGrid only focus on phone sales? Well, like I told you, we work with a lot of health owners, and in the health vertical, the demographic is usually 40 years plus. And if you look at these pickup rates, the 40-plus demo tends to pick up their phone way more frequently than those between the ages of 18 and 39. And these are all the subcategories within the health vertical that we take care of. This is not our only vertical, but this is our most successful vertical here. And we determine success based off of recovery rate. This is a big indicator at our company. So recovery rate for us is the number of successful orders divided by the total number of abandoned carts. I think it is the most honest number that you can use because it is already inclusive of contact rate and conversion rate. And at HelpGrid, our average recovery rate is 21% across all verticals. So it's pretty high. And I'm going to share with you some of the recovery rates across our top 5 health verticals. As you can see, vision is very high, 26.43%. What that means is for every 100 lead that we receive for vision, we can convert 26%. Here are the health offers with the highest AOVs. Blood sugar for us yields the highest AOV. It's about $242, right? And then here are our health offers with the highest volume of abandons. So that's most likely where a lot of the traffic is, right? And there's probably room for optimization here. Okay, year-to-date statistics. I like to be very factual and transparent with our data, and these are our stats year-to-date. So that's from January 2022 to October 2022. So in the last 10 months, we've made over 1 million calls. We've had over 200,000 abandoned cart leads, and we've recovered over $14.5 million in gross revenue in just abandoned cart sales. This does not include revenues from our post-sale engagement or from our order taking hotline. So what our order taking hotline is basically like a QVC channel. People put our phone number somewhere and then customers call in. So it's a much higher number altogether. So what that means is we're shipping about 210,000 to 250,000 bottles in abandoned carts. All right, so how do you do it? Two things. One, a great call logic, and two, a great piece of technology. Unfortunately, I can't share with you all of our copy. It's our secret sauce. But I can say why we're successful. It's not because our agents are following a robotic script. They are actually encouraged to be very human. And being human means showing that you care and making the person on the other line happy, right? And we achieve this with the 3 T's: tonality, trust, and timing. Perfecting tonality. I said this earlier. How you say it is more important than what you say, right? The moment a customer picks up the phone or a prospect picks up the phone, they're going to make a very quick judgment of whether or not they like you and if they want to stay on the phone. So don't sound salesy. Talk to them as if you were going to talk to your friend or your mother. And I'll give you an example. You're not going to call your mother and go, "Hey mom, this is Jeannie, how are you doing today?" That's super weird. Like your mom's probably gonna hang up on you because she's like, she wants something today, right? A normal conversation would sound like this: "Hey mom, it's Jeannie, what are you doing today? Can we hang out? I wanna talk to you about some things," right? Try to lower your voice, chill out, lower your tone when you're having conversations with prospects over the phone. All right, next is building trust. Listen and ask more questions. Don't bombard them with a bunch of information that they never asked you about. Nobody cares how much you memorized, right? When you have them on the phone, gently remind them of why you called them, remind them of the item they left behind, and then start asking probing questions. Why did you leave that behind, right? What ailments are you going through? I say ailments because we're dealing with health offers, right? And when you know what the objections are, you can overcome these objections. And I'll tell you something that's very simple. If you just listen, they'll buy from you, because most of the time they're just looking for someone to talk to, somebody to give them the time of day. And when you build that trust, they'll buy anything from you. They don't care what the name of the product is, right? The last one is a big one, is great timing. Lead time and lead open time are huge KPIs for us at HelpGrid, because the quicker we receive the lead, the faster we're able to dial out, and the higher we increase our chances of conversion. For us, great timing is between 15 minutes and 60 minutes. Anything after 24 hours is going to see a 50% drop in conversion. And if you wait 72 hours, it's usually in the single digits. But I don't have enough data on that because we have enough agent staff where we call within 24 hours. And how we're able to capture information so quickly is through an API integration. We collect leads in live time, and we store that data. And then what we do is we use a skills-based ticketing system where we send the tickets out to agents that are trained for that specific product or offer, and if they are available. So this is how we become very efficient. This keeps happening to me, huh? No problem. So the next part that I was going to tell you about is the integration. So I was going to have on the slide a list of integrations we have with a few popular platforms for the health offer vertical. So in the health offer vertical, usually a majority of them use platforms such as, I'm going to say it again, Buy Goods, ClickBank, ClickCRM, Checkout Champ, Connective, Sticky.io, Digistore24, and the likes. And we usually have a half integration or a full integration with many of these shopping carts. All right, here, in-house versus outsourcing. I know I am a contact center, but if I'm going to be honest with you, it's going to be most profitable if you can bring it in-house, right? Because you're not paying a rev share, you're not paying a CPA. However, there's a huge opportunity cost, time and money. Do you want to spend most of your time recruiting, managing, and supporting a call team on top of managing your offers and finding consistent traffic? Most likely not. And that's the common answer I get, and that is why most people choose to outsource to companies like ours, like HelpGrid, right? And it seems I am done with my time. I'll leave it there, but I want to do something a little fun. I'm going to see if you've been paying attention. So if you remember, in the beginning of my talk, I gave you an example of abandoned carts and a shopping cart experience I went through. And I bought a gift for my fiance. I left something behind in the cart. Raise of hands. Does anybody remember what that item was? I'm trying to look for somebody I don't know. Miss with the pink shirt. Okay. Yes, it was a Gucci card holder. Georgiana, can you give the present over there? I'm sorry, I didn't get your name, by the way. Nice to meet you. All right, can you open it and can you show everybody? Open, open. Look at that, we recovered it. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. And I promise I'm just going to take a few more minutes of your time because if I have an opportunity to be on stage, I want to talk about purpose. So at HelpGrid, I get to fulfill 2 wishes. 1, it's leading a really great team. And 2, it is impacting lives through philanthropy. So throughout the year, we take a percentage of our revenues and we put it in a charitable fund. And what we do with this is that we empower our people to give back to their communities. And what we do with this fund is we allow everybody to nominate a local charity that they care about, and we deploy the funds to them. And we do not allow anybody to wire money into a bank or just to write a check, right? We want them to buy the physical goods or to go in and volunteer with some of these organizations. And I'm just going to share a few pictures with you. I'm very proud of the team and what they do. They do this year round. And I bring this up because we are in November and December, and it is the holiday season if you celebrate any holidays. And I share with you this picture because I'm hoping that it may encourage some of you to make an impact in your own community or for somebody who is in need during this time of year, right? Because we are very rich with resources here. And I'm done, I promise. You can have lunch, and if there's anything I said today that resonated with you, you can scan here and schedule a conversation with me. And if you scan, it will also show you my email if you don't want to have a conversation with me, that's fine. It's just jeannie.mai@helpgrid.com, or just add me on Instagram and see no magic tricks. It's Jeannie the Magician. Thank you, everyone.